Ladies and gentlemen, to a Premier League presentation, bringing you guys a game between Alliance and Mousesports. This is going to be Game 3 of the Best of 3 series, the grand finals of the Premier League Season 5 Reaver Cup. So, going to see who's going to be taking away first place, who's second in this final match. Last one taken away, Alliance really doing well in that last game, just destroying it in a very brief period of time. Really good movement from S4's Magnus, as well, EGM, taking that carry anti-mage and doing work with it. So, as a whole, Mousesport's going to have to shake it off and see if they can make a little bit of the magic that Game 1 provided happen there and make it work for them indeed. So, we'll see. But right now, Game 1 went the way of Mousesports. Game 2, Alliance, we'll have to see for this final and decisive Game 3. I'm myself and Blaze. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. And over to my co-caster, Triumphant Man. What's going on?
Yeah, I see. Well, we've got a first Wisp ban there from Mousesports. Not a real surprise. They ban Wisp first a lot. I would say majority of the games, they get first pick, they will ban it up almost straight away. That said, we've got the second ban here from Mousesports. Alliance, interestingly enough, decided to ban out the Nakes. They're not going to go for that again. I think probably because they expect, Mouse probably aren't going to fall for the delayed offensive try and rotation for twice in a row. Mousesports, though, decided to ban out the Nature's Prophet as well, so I'm kind of expecting to see Bulldog get his hands on a Lone Druid here.
Another reason to pick up the ban up the lifesteal here is Mousesports actually does have first pick, so that could have been something that they don't want to have to deal with. Black lifestealer is definitely something that's extremely potent, but they do unfortunately give it with the Lone Druid. Emerald Bulldog doesn't have the Prophet option either, so honestly, Koikwa in the matchup, Koikwa compared to Emerald Bulldog, I really think that Koikwa is happy to be able to make this exchange, but that does leave open once again heroes like Magnus, Chen, Keeper of the Light maybe. They go for the Clockwork though. Bulldog going to be running that on the offlane, presumably. Not even going for the Magnus. They go for Clockwork and Shadow Demon together. Very interesting, and definitely not what I expected, but it's nice to see a different composition every now and then. And Alliance have used these heroes in the past to great effect. EGM on the Shadow Demon and Bulldog on that Clockwork.
Could be some bait and switch again. It wouldn't be the first time Alliance have gone for the haha, that's actually for S4 in the mid lane, so that's definitely a possibility as well. Nyx, though, being picked up again by Mousesports. They are loving this Nyx, Gyrocopter, and they've managed to throw in a Lone Druid as well, so it looks like they're going to have, with the Lone Druid, they've got some push power now. That said, Alliance, of course, they can try and get some shutdown. And there we go, Chen being picked up by Aki once again, presumably. I don't see anybody else they give it to, so it's going to be Chen on that. It's going to be Aki on that Chen there. But second banning phase, anti-mage being banned out by Mousesports this time. Oh yes, they do not want to see what EGM is going to do to them twice in a row. That said, will we see EGM on the carry again, or will they give Smolga League a second chance? That said, first game honestly wasn't all Smolga League's fault. Obviously, he did make some misplays. I'm dead sure during that early first blood on the DK, he could have actually haunted in a little bit earlier and saved the DK, but at the same time, that whole game for them just went fairly sour, and it was mostly, I think, on the back of the Disruptor. Getting down those kinetic fields along with the static storms was a pretty big deal breaker for them. They just couldn't get DK spells off, couldn't get Spectre spells, they kept getting trapped inside those kinetic fields and really ruined them. At this time round, Puck being banned, so Fata won't be able to get his hands on that either. So some respect bans from both sides, and there's that Magnus as well.
I may be wrong, but I think that a pretty decisive pick upcoming might be a Juggernaut. It would be really good for Alliance's lineup going in with a Chen and Shadow Demon. That's like the perfect 2.5 lane for pushing, is to go with those three there, setting it up, disruption into spin, you get a kill, you get a tower. But on the other hand, Mousesports again has first pick, and if they wanted to, I could see them making it work. It's not perfect. It's not 100% clear-cut, but Healing Ward with Lone Druid is extremely strong, and they can either run the Gyro in the mid or the Juggernaut in the mid, in either case, and making it so that they can make sure they get some good distribution of gold on all their core heroes there. But, yeah, possible. Either way, right now we do see just the ban out of the Magnus, taking that out of S4's hands in case it is Bulldog Clockwork, and along with that, the bans of the Puck and the Templar Assassin, which kind of signaled that they might be going for that Magnus in the first place.
Definitely a possibility. I think, it's been a common thing now. A lot of teams just be, screw the suicide lane, let's just abandon it. And I think that's definitely also a possibility if they wanted to run that Juggernaut, just throw him in and screw the suicide and just put Lone Druid in the jungle would have worked just fine. But there we go, Storm Spirit being banned yet again. Mousesport's going to pick that one off make sure they aren't caught out. But I mean, that's definitely a hero that can work out quite nicely. The high mobility heroes are really, really dangerous, particularly in the hands of S4. He pretty much always gets these early farm that he wants, and then once he gets mobile, he's so dangerous. As we saw, he was everywhere all at once. Bottom lane, get a kill, counterattack, get a kill there, teleport mid, get another kill there. He was all over the show. When you give him heroes that are mobile like that, he's very, very dangerous. But Alliance now, with their fourth pick, Queen of Pain, looks like it'll be the solo mid here for Mouse Sports.
Yeah, now Alliance have to kind of figure things out. They banned out the Juggernaut, and they apparently thought that Mouse Sports might be looking into that selection for themselves, and unfortunately Mouse Sports didn't bat an eyelash at that. They immediately went on for the Queen of Pain seconds later, and now Alliance are kind of left in a position where they're like, okay, what can our carriers play? Is smuggling back on the carriers at EGM? Are they as flexible as Loda? I mean, Loda has such a versatile pool, but the other ones, most likely, I would wager that they're probably less favored towards those more outer rim supports. So kind of going in, maybe an Alchemist will work for them, maybe not. We'll see exactly what they're comfortable with playing. Because one thing, especially with a stand-in, although you want the ideal composition, that's really important, the last thing you want to do is pick up a hero you're not ready for, not comfortable with. But interestingly enough, it seems like they're comfortable with this Kunkka selection and could do work with that. Shadow Demon with Kunkka together. I mean, really, it's just going to be perfect to set things up, along with that Clockworks, Cogs, and the Torrent. All of these kind of wrap around together, just a nice little disable burrito, and yeah, we're going to see how effective it'll be. Kunkka going to cleave things away and get out a lot of disables with the Torrent, with the Ghost Ship.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm kind of betting here, Bulldog in the side lane, or taking the off lane there with the Clockwork, and then Kunkka S4 solo mid. Let's see it happen. I mean, of course, he can work quite well with the Shadow Demon as well, but Kunkka, I feel, in all honesty, very level hungry. Really wants to get those levels up across his Cleave, across his Torrent. Really wants X-Master spot and Boat on top of that as well. So I'm kind of betting he'll take that solo mid there with S4. And I really want to see, I mean, obviously during the during some of the most recent Asian games, the Eastern qualifiers, the the D2L, a lot of
about the small issue there. It looks like we did get a pause, of course, so we didn't have anything missed beyond the draft. The final selections here, what do we get picked up here? It looks like Keep It Light and Weaver, interestingly enough.
Let me bring you up to speak quickly. Alliance have gone for a 1-2-1 and a jungler. They're doing a dual mid EGM with the Kunkka, in mid being backed up by Smogger League's Shadow Demon.
Interesting management there. I'm actually going to fix one thing real quick with the call, sorry, and then we'll be good to go. Sorry about the technical things there, but it should be good after I do that. Okay. So pulling it back on up, and yeah, we are kind of in this position here where we are going to be seeing what these guys have going on. Sorry, again, technical issue there. And one more quick call on Triumph, and we should be good to go.
The battle begins.
Back in a moment.
Okay, there we go.
Oh. Back. Awesome.
All right, so real quick, as before, if you want to remind the viewers to toggle their audio channels to make sure that they are going to be able to hear both of us throughout the entire cast. And then we should be pretty well set. It looks like Koikova is doing actually pretty well here on the Lone Druid. What he's going to be able to do is just pull these back and all set, move on about, just really screw over the creep wave and make sure that they're stacked up together. If 2 or 3 creep waves are mashed up, then that's going to be setting them up to just push out the wave entirely. He actually also blocks off the eastern camp spawn to make sure that the Chen won't be able to actually get the neutrals he prefers, and that really sets things up nicely for Koikova. Really good uses of the bear. He's going to be able to get some guaranteed golden experience from these waves as he pulls them behind the tower, and from there, Chen not getting the spawns that he wants to. It's going to be very nice manipulation there. So, yeah, so far impressed, but beyond that, what do you think about the lanes?
I really like what the Bears doing here. I mean, this is the Bulldog maneuver from game 1 of the evening, but at the same time, it's going to be a little bit different because this time around, whereas Bulldog did it in game 1, it completely crippled 2 supports up there. And this time around, it's not going to be as big of an issue. Chen, of course, is farming the jungle, so it's not going to be much of an issue at all. And in fact, it looks like he's just going to try and see if he can get the aggro here on the tower for a bit with the creeps and just dish out a bit of damage. In fact, no, he's going to go falls to the wall here. Aki's going to charge forwards and actually go straight after Lone Druid. He's got a lot of damage here. You can't really, I mean, the bear does a fair amount of it as well, but the thing is, I think the bear is doing less than the Hellbear Smasher. Yeah, the Hellbear Smasher is in fact gone the wrong way. Nice juke there from Lone Druid. Going to get him out. Well, but I mean, Chen's not done yet. Chen's still gunning for him. Forces him to pop his regen already, although now he's taking damage from the tower. He will actually need to back out here, and he might give away the first blood if he's not careful. And mid is looking for a Queen of Pain. Fatter is after him. He's out for blood. Could well pick up this kill here, or not actually. He's going to back up. I think they spotted the rotation there from the dual mids there from Alliance.
Thanks.
So, a lot of movement, but no blood spilled just yet. But what the end result is that Koikova, though he takes up plenty of harassment on the bear, he is going to be moving in towards level 3 pretty quickly, which is really nice for him. Setting himself up. S4 is going to try to do as much blocking as he can, but Lone Druid still feels pretty safe and sound, as the creep has come much more towards his tier 1 tower here. So, in a position where he kind of feels like he's soloing the Weaver, and that's exactly where he wants to be now. So, he's going to be able to survive effectively enough to get those levels, and if nothing more, then that's fine. In the meantime, dual mid, Nyx Assassin plus Queen of Pain going up against Shadow Demon Kunkka, which is going to be probably the better combo between the two, especially now that EGM has his bottle on the way.
Yeah, in fact, Paz just going to scout the room, going to grab himself a regeneration there in the bottom lane there. And I like this dual mid here. The fact that throwing Nyx in the mid, this is really irritating for Kunkka. The problem is if he goes in and cleaves, I mean, he throws a cleave up at the high ground, he may accidentally get Carapace there by, well, not accidentally, but rather Paz is going to pop the Carapace in the high ground, he's going to get smacked by it, which is possibly going to leave him out of position against the Queen of Pain, who can jump in, Shadow Strike, scream him down, although not just yet, he's only level 2, but this is going to be a really big irritation, I think. That said, of course, a Smuggling, of course, can try and help out, but there we go, going to try and set up a torrent, lands it there, but it is going to do a fair bit of damage to him at the same time, but he's not going to be able to jump in just yet. They need a few more levels before they can gun for the kill.
Interesting combo. We do see Synderen doing some good double pulling up the creep wave here to try to deny out the things in full down the Radiant area. That's going to limit Bulldog as far as how much experience he gains, but he's not being zoned out all that much. He's honestly taking plenty of experience in turn, and yeah, he's going to be able to max out his battery assault for some good solo pick-off damage when he's able to single somebody out. Either way, a little bit of back and forth. Black should be able to get a lot of Rocket Barrage damage if he goes for it, but just going for right clicks at least for the moment. I'm not sure exactly why he's withholding his mana so significantly.
You mean the clock? Oh,
yeah.
I mean, he could. I think he's actually been using it to bomb mid. I've been seeing him throw a couple of rockets to mid, just trying to help out with the harass there.
This might be first blood up top, actually. Koikova, yeah, S4 is going to get that Shikuchi and the Gemini attack to finish him off there. Just good harassment damage coming in. Chen able to get a stun and some right clicks, and yeah, S4 just following on through beyond the tower.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a bear to try and help you out, but the Centaur is pretty much equivalent to the bear itself in terms of damage output there. And of course, it comes packing a reliable stun as well. Very problematic for him to try and deal with. And in the end there, I mean, that said, Lone Druid, he's going to struggle a bit up in this lane. He is up against a very, very nasty Chen. And of course, this time round, we've got Weaver, and it's one of the big advantages of Weaver here over the previous games we've seen. The fact that Weaver, as well as it seems the Chen, are quite able to dive down past that tower. It's very easy for them to get stuck in, whereas the other supports, a slow Lina or a slow Shadow Demon really don't want to go diving down there that deep. They're a little bit worried about that. They don't have the health of the backup from the minions. But you see the harass there. Can we see a Torrent come down as well? The Torrent will come down. Shadow Poise as well. Queen of Pain, though, jumps away just in time. She will manage to escape the Torrent.
So, and yeah, the Blink really helpful in that regard because you have to time it perfectly. You have to make sure that the cast animation of Blink doesn't get that timing window where you can actually dodge out of it. Fortunately for Queen of Pain, Fat has been able to just outmaneuver it multiple times over, and in turn, all the Nyx has to do is just walk up on top of it and Carapace. EGM not really too worried about it though. He uses more mana than HP, so continuously just using his bottle over and over, and even picking up one rune at a time, he's going to be able to keep his HP and mana pool aplenty, and also come out pretty far ahead in CS. It's still, he is 6 CS ahead of the Queen of Pain, even though he may be a little bit behind the Gyrocopter. The Weaver is kind of going toe-to-toe with him in that regard. So Weaver's in a really good spot. I'm curious to see what S4 actually ends up going for his first core item, since there are so many different ways to build Weaver at this kind of state in the metagame.
Yeah, he's just starting to open up with the treads, though. I mean, we've seen Weaver builds where they just go, you know what, I don't even need boots. They just try and go as eco as possible and go straight for that huge core item they want straight away. Sometimes Lincoln, sometimes a more aggressive item. But in this case, I don't know. See what he goes for. But the bear, on the other hand, has opted to pick up the early orb of venom just to help him out with the harass there, to try and slow down Weaver and make him a little bit less willing to dive in there. But mid lane could be a bit of trouble there for EGM. EGM should be able to walk away from this, though. Clockwork, I think, sending another rocket mid, just trying to scare them there, or try and punish him with a try and dive in underneath the tower. DD being popped up there by Smuggling as well. But in the end, nothing going to come of that mid there. It looks like Queen of Pain just going to bottle horse some more with the courier, going to send that back there. And I mean, the other thing that's probably helping out Queen of Pain a lot, she has opened up with a magic stick, which is really helping her out against the poison spam from a Shadow Demon as well, Blaze.
Yeah, definitely. Giving a lot of mana available, that's going to keep it very, very active. And yeah, on top of that, the big thing about Shadow Demon, when he's running in a dual mid situation, he wants to control the runes. Kunkka gave him his bottle so that he could continuously just make sure that they have the runes in their control rather than the Queen of Pain's. And then every time he comes back to the mid lane, he has a full, fresh bottle for Kunkka to deal with the fact that he's being harassed a decent amount. So, although he took a lot of damage from those two, of course they could not kill him without any ultimates available, and as such, now he's just going to be high and dry, sitting up good with HP mana, and controlling the lane once more as far as CS goes, getting 3 CS here, jumping himself up to 28 compared to that Queen of Pain's 19, and he's going to be able to go in for those phase boots very early, possibly a Shadow Blade right after the fact. Oh, the Entangle proc coming out on top lane, really, really big here. He's going to have to pop off the time lapse. And if that Entangle hadn't come on through exactly then I believe that Quick Vlog would have been locked down, but instead, he is perfectly fine and forcing Weaver back, at least for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, wow, lucky Entangle without a doubt. Their first hit just procs it away there. But now I'm just looking, Nick's getting very close to that 6. Once he gets that 6, things are going to get very, very dangerous. I like your point on the bottle sharing between EGM and Smolly. Very, very smart play from them there, making the most of that bottle indeed. And also maximizing farm time and experience time there for Kunkka as well. Now the question is, what is Bulldog up to here? Has hit his level 6, he's got his boots as well. And when is he going to go for his first item here? He's got 750 gold in the bank there. Can get mobile, start putting some pressure. I mean, this is about the time I think they want to put pressure on mid, and with the hook shot there can probably really help guarantee landing those torrents. Torrent being thrown down short though. EGM was hoping that Queen of Pain would jump on and try and scream him, but as it was, she decided not to go straight in there.
Trying to bring down a ward from the low ground to the high ground. It's going to be a lot of misses involved, but unfortunately they don't have any sentries. Now just going to try to go on him to prevent him from bringing down entirely, but they do not do enough damage. The dot ticking away. The right click is there. Queen of Pain picking up a very important kill, but getting hit by the Torrent. Maybe the boat too? No. Going to be able to just barely dodge in out of there, screaming, blinking, and yeah, getting out of dodge. Going to be safe and preventing EGM from farming here, but meanwhile on top lane, Koikwa getting dived pretty hard. S4 will pop out that time lapse. There's a hook shot to connect and bring down Koikwa. So really, really important there because he has recently summoned his bear, and now both bears are dead. And for another almost 2 minutes, he is not going to be able to have that level of presence with the bear that he's been holding so dear. Instead, there's going to be push pressure on the top lane, and you're actually going to have to see Cinderin rotate to illuminate it and keep it alive.
This is going to be a big pain in the butt for him indeed. And it looks like Bulldog's still sitting on his money. Has decided not to spend. I think he might actually be going for Arcanes first just to help out with his mana issues. Of course, he here is really running dry there. Doesn't really want to bottle in this case because, of course, we've already got Kunkka trying to run those runes at the moment, so he doesn't really want to sort of step on his toes there. So I'm expecting, there we go, the Arcanes have been picked up indeed. Meanwhile, though, Black, I think this is probably, I mean, we remember this issue from Game 1. If you let Black farm, things get nasty. So, you know, right now, Black's not been under any pressure. I'm just going to look at the creep last hits denied, and Black ahead of the pack there, 60 to 26. This could be a bit of an issue, but it's going to, I think EGM, though, is going to get active. I mean, they're going to give him probably another 5 minutes at most, and then EGM's going to get active and going to start putting some pressure on that bottom lane, because, I mean, you land a hook shot, Cogs, and then it's a guaranteed. Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually, that was just an overextension. Clockwork, he doesn't have that much durability by picking up Arcanes, so in that sense there, when Paz was able to jump in with a Vendetta and an Impale, it was just too much for him to deal with, and that was actually a really clean pick-off for them.
Yeah, indeed. But as I was saying, I mean, you land a hook and a clock, you land a hook and a Cogs, it's guaranteed Torrent and Boat after that. But now it looks like Keeper Light's going to get picked off there. No escape for him at all. Test of Fate to finish him off. Chen going to take that kill. Just gets caught out there accidentally. I don't think they had vision. There's just sort of a lucky break there. They were sort of looking for the team and having to run into him as well. Down at bottom. Oh, Weaver gets picked off, and this is about the last person you want to feed. Black. Oh dear, what did they? What's he on GPM wise right now? It's 371. Okay, so he's not completely out of control yet. Weaver's 360 as well, so they're looking fairly even. But it looks like a gank on mid, possibly Blaze.
Yeah, trying to put some pressure out there. Double damage active on the Queen of Pain. Has her ultimate too, but there's going to be a defensive disruption, and now the bow comes on through. Pause, not going to nullify all that damage with the Carapace. Instead, getting dropped down. Here comes Queen of Pain, though, looking for the Sonic Wave. Illuminate. Oh, no double damage right clicks. Honestly, not using it. Watch out, that Clockwork coming on in. Bulldog doing too much damage to Test of Faith. High roll from Ake's Chen, and man, did they just obliterate him there. Now going in for the tier 1 tower. Illuminate will come on through. Hits on just about everyone. No, dodged down by everybody but the Chen. So they keep the creeps alive. They keep the heroes up and kicking. If they want to bring down the tower, though, they're going to have to fight for it pretty hardcore, because Cinderin has plenty of mana left to spam.
I like the fact that Chen has actually brought a Harpy. Harpy can actually do a fair amount of damage here, just spamming the Chain Lightning. With a 4-second cooldown, I mean, it's only 140 damage, but at the same time, if you just keep spamming that, it's a fair amount after if you just keep him in the lane there. And of course, he can spam it quite a few times as well. It's only 50 mana there, but Chen going to grab himself a Hellbear there as well. I think he's grabbed a... No, he hasn't grabbed a Hellbear. What's he grabbed there? Oh, I think that might have been a misclick. He grabbed the little one, unless he really wants... Oh, no, he did get the Hellbear, actually. Right, I'm looking at the wrong way around. Wrong one, wrong one. Meanwhile, the top lane, Weaver might be in some trouble.
I don't think, as far as detection goes, they had that sentry in a good spot, but unfortunately Paz wasn't able to close the distance the way he intended to. So unless Weaver gets greedy farming up this creep camp, they're not going to have too many issues here. Vendetta expiring in about 8 seconds. There it is, though. They actually could put some pressure on out here. He has the time-lapse available, though, so... I think he should at least use the Vendetta, but either way, it expires, he walks away.
Yeah, I think he probably should just put some hits into him there. Meanwhile, that looks like Clockwork's down the bottom lane. Aki, though, backing off back to base. Not dead. I think he's probably just going to go and heal his creep rather than anything else. Tries to send him to battle right now. They'd probably just clean up Queen of Pain, finding himself a haster in there. Could try and launch an attack here on Weaver, although Weaver, like you said, time-lapse still up, so I don't think they can kill him, at least not without Nyx to lock him. If Nyx lands a lockdown, Queen of Pain can probably burst him before he knows what's happening. And Weaver now, it looks like he's possibly going for drums there first up as a, sort of his multi-core item there.
So, harassment coming out onto Queen of Pain, but she has that haste run and also has Sonic Wave, so has to watch himself. Oh, good time-lapse timing and faking out. They animation canceled the ultimate, so the Queen of Pefata knew that he would be wasting it if he threw it down there. But the disruption comes out from Smuglig, locking down on Paz. He's going to pop off that Carapace, but it's not enough to save him here. Too much damage. There's that Sonic Wave, but a beautiful Hand of God coming from Chen, and they're still at great HP values. As for, actually doesn't have this time-lapse on the run, but luckily there is no mana leak available, so he's just going to keep on moving on about. Has to dodge out the homing missile with Invis and instead gets hit by the Scream. Nowhere to run. If he kept running, hit by the missile. If he stopped and turned around, of course we saw the Scream, the Illuminate, just hitting far too hard.
I almost think he probably should just keep running and take the missile just because, I mean, I think that's only a level 1 missile, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly. That's true. It would have only done something and given him some hope, but unfortunately just no way at all. If he had gotten past them, it would have been, obviously, we would have been saying the exact opposite. If he had been able to turn it around and gotten past the Queen of Pain and the Illuminate hadn't been charging, then it would have been perfectly fine. But just took one way out. Unfortunately, it definitely wasn't the one that would result in him surviving. So instead, he gets dropped down. The current kill count is 6-4 in favor of Alliance. 2 of those kills are on the Shadow Demon, 2 of them on the Weaver. So a lot of gold in their area, and obviously Ake's been farming up aggressively too, so he's going to be moving in towards mech pretty soon. Headdress already up, but in the meantime there was a pickoff. Did you catch that?
Both teams getting a pick-off there. Bulldog managed to get the kill down on Dark, but the other pick-off was, of course, EGM getting caught out by the bottom lane, was looking to try and come help the bottom lane, but unfortunately getting jumped by both Nyx and Queen of Pain. No real escape from there, just getting locked down and burst down. Right now, it looks like he is going for the Shadow Blade first up. In fact, over halfway there, so once he gets that up and running, I mean, it's going to come down to the fact that I think this is where the pressure is going to come. Once he gets that, the pressure is going to come down on Gyrocopter for real. The fact that he's always going to have to worry about this. That said, he is rushing the BKB, which is going to help out, but at the same time, I mean, BKB or not, you can still be trapped inside the cogs with Clockwork, which is going to be a big pain in the butt there.
So, yeah.
It looks like they're going for the tier 1 tower down bottom.
Yeah, a lot of potential to do that. They are not really too scared of what Mousesports have to bring to the table right now. Black needs a little bit more farm to actually be that threatening. So, as for, gonna dodge out the missile. And from there, really, that's all he really needs to do. In the meantime, they did just kill the Koiko's bear. He had the resummon, but it is going to be on cooldown for a little bit, and he most likely will be playing more cautiously as a result. Stalking up on Smuglig, they have that invincibility, but there's that Clockwork hookshot coming in right on Cinder, and can't do anything. You're not even getting off that blinding light. Instead, Smuglig might drop. Yeah, Black should be able to clean it up here with the flat and a right click to pursue on out, and they do not get the TP off. Oh my goodness, I thought that the Queen of Pain was able to get on out of there, but Demonic Purge and the right click, just too much damage. She gets dropped, and now they're going to transition in towards the tier 1 mid. I actually thought that they would be focusing on bottom, but instead just letting top fall to the Koikwa and taking the mid tier 1. There is a nearby Paz, but of course he does have plenty of movement to stay active, and they do have 2 points in Torrent, X-Mark, so they will be able to X-Mark him here, and Paz isn't carapacing it, instead getting stunned on out, cogged away, and he will be dropped down in just a moment. So nice triple impale, but one little right click is all they need, and Ake is the one to send in that direction. So picking up the mechanism as a result of this incursion, and the push seems to be continuing a little bit, though I'm sure Synderen has something to say about that.
I should also mention that the Dice courier, Alliance's courier, got picked off just over here on the map. Unfortunately getting caught. I'm not sure what caught it out, but it did get picked off in the end there. Possibly could have been that Nyx as well. But looks like Chen going to pick up some more creep there. Just going to grab himself some of the satyrs. Meanwhile, though, Bear farming away in the jungle. What's he picked up? He's going for that armlet. Should have that fairly soon, if not right now. In fact, where is that Radiant Courier? Not dead sure where. It's down the bottom lane. Hasn't picked it up just yet. In fact, oh, here goes another Courier snipe. Can they pick up one more auto attack? Will manage to pick it up there. Both teams losing their Courier within minutes of each other. Yeah. Unfortunate pick off.
But it's a
for the
little bit
Radiant
different
side.
there in the sense that Mousesports don't have anything on their courier, whereas S4 is without his Drums of Endurance for another couple minutes before it respawns.
Could have been a problem. I mean, that's probably a pain in the butt. At least it's not a major item, though. It's just going to be slightly irritating for him. As it looks like he's going to continue putting pressure on this bottom tower. Meanwhile, the pressure is coming in on mid. Looks like Clockworks here. He does have hook up if he wants to, but he's lost the battery assault now, which is going to be the big limiting factor, unless they can get some serious damage in. That said, Kunkka is here. He could try and land a hook and then follow up with the torrent, although not going to happen. They're just going to get the denying.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, though, Weaver bottom lane.
Oh, yeah, he's toast, 100%. They got the Sentry Ward down. They got the stun. And just called down and locked him in place. He did have his time lapse available. I'm not sure if he had mana for it, but he certainly didn't have the time. Just too much damage coming too quickly. And that's what this team is designed about. Gyrocopter and Nyx especially are all about front-loaded burst damage, and Queen of Pain as well. So really, Weaver not the best pick in this situation. Of course, if she gets something like an Orchid to silence the Queen of Pain, then Nyx will be able to do a lot, or the Weaver will be able to do a lot. But for right now, just taking a lot of poundings and not really having any answer back. A bit of a misplay, I gotta say, for Quakeva on the mid lane there, though. One last auto attack from the Lone Druid was completely unnecessary and put the tower in the deny range, so that is going to give your team some gold, but not far less than you would actually have intended. And generally, you're going to prefer to make it so that it's undeniable and you go in for that last hit. Obviously, that happened twice over now with Chen taking down the bottom one as well. So, although we will see some gold gain for Mousesports and moving in back in their direction, they could be evening out, and instead they're a little bit behind. Nice neutral block, accidental as it may be. Synderen is going to be able to survive because the hook shot will not pierce on through those neutral creeps.
Sinner now just going to drop another Illuminate there to finish off the 2 creep in the camp. Should also mention that... I'm going to mention that during that gank there at Weaver, I'm pretty sure he lost all of his mana to the burn, wasn't able to time-lapse because all of his remaining mana was taken out. Also, Bear has picked up the armor and a BKB for Gyrocopter, so some big items coming out for the Radiant side. And this could be what Mouse needs to completely turn this around. They are now within 500 gold. Their root comes down on EGM first proc.
He's just going to Shadow Amulet away.
Wow. Well, I mean, fair enough there. And in fact, he waits there and gets the Shadow Blade, pox it as well. Actually not going to go straight back in there, as it looks like Bear going to just stuck into the jungle and continue farming there.
Yeah, that was really cute. Shadow Amulet into Shadow Blade. Don't really get the chance to see that often. Actually, Paul is going to get the Vendetta, or just a stun right click. That was unfortunate for him. But it looks like because Paws... No, he's going to get the TP, and Weaver doesn't have anything to stop him. So, good free kill for them. And it looks like Quake will most likely fall back from here, as he has to know that there were people rotating up top. So he's getting recalled. The Clockwork Rocket will hit him, canceling the recall, and they should be able to bring him down. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Keeper the Light is going to be able to bring down the Shadow Demon just a little bit too far forward. Disruption and Demonic Purge, not enough to save him. Meanwhile, up top, Quakeva able to get back home safely. So TPing on out of there, and he's going to be A-okay. So.
I mean, bottom lane, they were gunning for some more kills there, and they blew both the cooldown as well as the Sonic Wave, but in the end, only picked up the Shadow Demon. Could have definitely been a much worse result there from Alliance, but at the same time, obviously, Queen of Pain quite happy picking up, or helping them pick up the kill there, and Black, in fact, is going to put pressure on this tower. With Bear as well. Bear has teleported to the bottom lane, and with that demolish, I'm pretty sure has demolished, going to tear through this tower very quickly. No defense being mounted from Alliance, and Alliance now in a bit of a problematic situation where they're starting to fall behind. And let's check that GPM. I think Weaver is definitely falling behind. Yes, he is. Black starting to get ahead there. 410 gold per minute versus 370, and this could be a serious issue. Well, that said, I mean, Conqueror is always a bit of a wild card. You get a big crit on a splash, and suddenly an entire fight can turn around. It's very frustrating to play against, just because it's sort of it's basically you're just rolling the dice, and sometimes you get lucky. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, but
it looks like in the mid lane there, Smugly just going to throw down some more counter wards, just trying to make sure that high ground, because I mean, once you take the mid tier 1 tower, this is a great spot to put wards, just because you can see on this high ground, catch out anybody who might be coming into gank, and also just throw spells up on the high ground with deadly accuracy. Blaze, I mean, do you think Kunkka's got what it takes here to go on late game? Because he did get a fairly timely Shadow Blade.
Yeah, I feel that he definitely has the potential. I mean, Kunkka crits are something just to completely to behold. If you get obviously the luck as well as the attack damage to follow it up, but still he is up against a lot. The Lone Druid with the Basher and Armlets, which will soon be Basher anyways, will be very, very difficult to hold against for any of them. And unless Weaver is actually bringing in some good single target damage, I don't think that the Kunkka is going to be able to directly compete with the Gyrocopter in that AoE sense. So really, it comes down to that Gyrocopter, Flat Cannon, or Call Down. It's all about the AoE. Same thing with Kunkka's Tidebringer as well as Boat. So you compare those two directly as well as the Lone Druid and the Weaver. But for right now, I definitely think Mouse Sports carries just have so much more going their way.
Oh, first hit route again. Shadow Demon throws down Disrupt to try and keep him safe there. Here comes the call down. Going to hit a lot of EGM. Going to hit EGM Smuggling as well as poor old Smuggling as well. And also going to catch up Fado. Fado going to get caught out there, getting brought down in the end. In fact, wow, actually, wow. How did nobody die there? I thought Alliance lost EGM, lost at least EGM or even Smuggling there, but it looks like he's managed to keep himself still alive just barely. In the fountain there. He did teleport out there just in time. It looks like EGM now trying to back up. The Syndron also going to get drilled down there. And now the Shadow Blade there. Can I get EGM on the run? Do they have any counter wards? Yes, they do. Throw down one, but EGM too quick. I don't think they can catch him, even with the bear.
Yeah, so right there, that was Kunkka's Rum at work. Keeping everybody alive, mitigating all that damage. It's all about the front-loaded damage from Gyrocopter and Queen of Pain. And
it is very, very underestimated. Of course, you do need to be careful. Some people, like, they throw it on the boat, get confident, thinking, you know, I'm not taking any damage. I could press this, I could press this, I could charge in here, and then suddenly all their health's gone because the tail effect kicks in. It's non-lethal, sure, but, you know, when you've got 1 health left, there's not much difference, is there? S4, though, still hasn't committed to an item. I mean, this is the Radiance. He's got 3.2k in the bank.
Yeah, that's an interesting point to make. Yeah, he is stacking it up pretty hardcore. There are so many different ways to build them, but I really don't know exactly how he wants to go about it. He is going to be the single target menace that they need, but how to actually make it work here? We're actually going to see a bit of a skirmish going on, but the ensnare locking down on the Nyx Assassin. Going to be able to get a nice stun coming on through. Smuggling should drop down in just a moment. There's a big Illuminate going across as well. As for an Ake taking some big hits, Queen of Pain trying to finish off the Shadow Demon. It should be happening in just a moment. Test of Faith. Gonna send it back just barely in time. Fata with the Scream just coming off cooldown, but unfortunately won't be able to seal the deal. Now, going on Illuminate, they are going to be able to finish off Ake, I believe, with the BKB active on Queen of Pain. It's most certain, and now, going on in, there is going to be that blinding light going on EGM. He can't stay on target, and instead Black is just the one to right-click down. S4 getting stunned up, big damage coming on through. He gets rooted up, is going to be able to get the ultimate off, though. Now the root coming on top of him. He does get dropped. No, still alive. There's that last right-click to finish the job. Meanwhile, Fata trying to clean things up. In pursuit, going on top of EGM here. X marks the spot, will hold him in place, though. Torrent gonna connect here and force them back. Possibly no. They're gonna keep it going. Man mode hardcore. Have to watch Queen of Pain. She actually will die to this demonic purge, but at the cost of the Shadow Demon's life. And actually, no, she survived. Mechanism. Really, really good timing for her. I think it was Mechanism at least, too. No, actually, she just was able to Magic Wand. Good bottle and Magic Wand usage. And barely keeping herself up.
Just missed it. I want to call out a couple of things that happened in that fight there. Really, really smart play there from Alliance. That's going to be so frustrating. We saw Queen of Pain jumping Shadow Demon. Couldn't quite kill him. First he disrupts. Then he Magic Wands. Then he gets healed up by a mech. Then he jumps into the forest and gets teleported back to home by Chen. As we see Bulldog about to get destroyed there. And this Bulldog does get wrecked. Then Chen. She was then gunning after Chen. BKBs chases after Chen. Chen boxes himself into the trees, cuts line of sight, and then kills himself with his own Centaur.
Are you
denies
serious?
himself.
Wow.
Yes, I am serious. He pulled that off, and then on top of that, the gem was then recovered. Chen's gem was then recovered by Kunkka. So that, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Sure, they lost Shadow Demon. Now Black, they're going to take him out. The only real loss there was S4 getting picked off because he overextended a little bit too much, but they might be able to get that back right now as they try and teleport out. Not going to happen. Disruption comes in, and now Syndron goes down along with past Nyx. Queen of Pain, though, going in balls to the wall. I think she's going to regret this, though.
Close at hand. The Gemini will not connect, though, and I think she is going to be able to survive. Just bottling away. One more blink, and yeah, it's maximum movement speed, but it's not going to change the fact that she's just so darn quick with that max blink. Either way, though, cleaning up 3 great heroes, 2 supports, 1 Gyrocopter, taking away a tower and turning things around, and my goodness, I'm going to have to personally go back and look at the replay on that one, because that seems like highlight top 10 plays right there, because that is awesome. Denying himself after all that, test of faithing back the Shadow Demon and getting a suicide. My oh my, that is some awesome Dota. But anyways, yeah, Ake of course is well known for his Chen and making it work here. Now curious to see what their next move is going to be. Mechanism back up and available. They have the Desolator as well. I think they want to look at Roshan, and right now as far as Radiant Vision, there's nothing to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, Aki, best Chen in the West, I gotta say. Looks like they're just gonna go after the Roshan for sure, but I mean, they should be able to get this too, especially with the Desolator just picked up by S4. That extra negative armor is gonna help them destroy Roshan very easily. And it looks like right now, with no vision as well from the Radiant side, they've got no way to stop that. I would say the Radiant going for some offensive wards here. I like this ward they've got up in the enemy jungle, just trying to watch out for Chen or any rotations there, and make it difficult for them as we see the rocket chase smuggling all the way back to the base there. But now I think Weaver got that Aegis. Yes, Weaver did get that Aegis there. So Weaver committing to the Desolator just makes him a bit of a glass cannon. But we've got to consider he's got Chen backing him up with both the mech as well as the Hand of God. So he's actually going to be relatively hard to put down, especially if Chen starts throwing out some massive tests of faith that send him home.
Yeah, so, yeah, in a good position there. Chen and Weaver have some really good synergies, and, of course, the heal, as you were mentioning, is one major aspect of that. He effectively has 2 or 3 lives here. You can consider the fact that he has the Aegis the Immortal, that's a second life, and, of course, the time lapse as well can bring him back up to almost nothing to full, or if he has to, he can even buy back and time lapse back into an engagement. So, does have the opportunity to really just stay active and sustain, and that's really the power of Weaver, is making sure that every single point of HP that he has is put to very good use here. So we'll see how it plays on out, but for right now, Gyrocopter moved in towards a bigger and better item, but it might be halted very, very quickly if they get this gank off right. So blanking on in, waiting for the opportunity. S4 using the Shikuchi, and there, Black is going to have to BKB out quickly if he's going to survive. Desolator along with the damage from the Scarabs. He's going to be dropped down here. Synderen will fall, but Black able to TP on away. So he does at least get himself out. I'm not actually sure why they didn't focus more on the Gyrocopter in that situation.
I'm just wondering if that was an accident. I don't know if Bulldog was watching Gyrocopter on his screen, he wouldn't have been able to see people. Like, he might have hit him accidentally. Although that said, I was watching Gyrocopter, so I didn't see how Bulldog's aim was. Did you catch it?
As far as bringing down Synderen?
Yeah, did he aim directly for Cinder, or was it possibly like he caught him accidentally?
No, it wasn't an accident. They just kind of focused that target specifically. So they found him in that position, trying to help out Gyro, and it worked out.
All right, then. Yeah, I mean, there we go. So, but here's the thing I'm worried about. The fact that Weaver's not really going to be able to go for... he might be forced to go for a defensive item next, but if he is, that's going to leave him wide open to the problem of Gyrocopter's going to get his Monkey King bar up running fairly soon, and then he's on to Butterfly after that. And, of course, Black is farming still very well, 450 gold per minute. Kanka and Weaver doing well themselves, 400-plus gold per minute themselves, but at the same time, if they're trying to bring down Black and he gets some lucky evasion procs, it's going to be very, very irritating for him, especially if he dodges a big crit on the splash. It's going to be very, very frustrating for Kanka. But, you know, I just wonder if Weaver can really afford... Can Weaver justify going full glass cannon and just going straight for a Monkey King bar? Because, I mean, Black's been building the same items almost every game.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. But I do think that he has time to work with. If S4 wants to wait on the Monkey King bar, it will be okay for them. They do see Daedalus coming out for the Kunkka. And then, yeah, Weaver... He has 2,000 gold at his disposal. He can go in for a combination of items, and that evasion isn't going to come out all that rapidly. So he, of course, doesn't need the Monkey King bar that readily, and as such can go for something with a little more durability, at least a casual Vit booster, if nothing else.
I mean, yeah, that's always an option. I mean, we've seen plenty of heroes just going, I just want the Vitality boost, just for the extra health. I mean, that will definitely help him out quite a bit. That said, it looks like they've found an ancient stack that belongs to the Radiants. Might be able to clean that up in just a moment. We see Cupra Light just trying to ward off this creep push, though. Going to clean that up easily. Chen almost copying that Illuminate to the face there. They are going to swing around possibly and just try and gank the Bear up here. Bear, though, realizes something's wrong and teleports away. So he's going to get away just nice and easy. The Bear also going to get caught out, but it's going to run straight back to base. And meanwhile, it looks like Alliance I could get much to show to this. I might actually go for the tier 2 tower now on the top lane.
Pressure coming in. They actually force out the mechanism coming out from these guys here because of a nice low to high ground Illuminate coming in from Synderen, but it's not enough to stop them from taking this tier 2 tower. They're just going to be able to bring it down quickly. I'm not exactly sure why they're not putting as much
top lane, the rack.
They're doing a lot of damage there. Going to go on the back end of things. Fata and Black doing work, so they have to make this fight count. Boat connecting with the Torrent onto Koikova, burning him down quickly. Now, big damage coming out from Paz and Synderen, but they go for the Test of Faith back. They go in, they just want to try to force them off this tier 3 tower. Force staff away from the Clockwork, but not able to finish off on the Queen of Pain. And now Black is the one that just has to run on out of there, going for the BKB TP, and the Cogs will not actually get close enough. I actually was on cooldown at the time, so they do end up losing their tier 3 tower. And as far as kills, they only bring down Koikova in return.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely fairly costly for them, I believe. So just going to check the gold minute. We see again the gold minute there skyrocketing for Black or some more. Just basically pulling away bit by bit, and this worries me quite a lot just because he's going to have a huge presence where it's going to get to the point where he can accident, like Aki and Chevy, but this is a really big problem where they can be accidentally killed by the flak cannon. just because he's going to have so much raw damage. Just flat cannon hits are going to bring them down before they really know what's going on, and that bothers me quite a bit. Without that support there, I just don't think they're going to be nearly as effective. Meanwhile, though, it looks like they're going to burst down Kunkka very easily. Smugly also copying the Carapace there, and it looks like they're going to try and just get a return kill there on pass, throw down the Cold, going to trap Minda, but the creep also going to absorb some of those battery assaults charges, and now Queen of Pain also still helping out here. Bulldog really changing his mind about this, hooks in, will get the kill down, but it looks like they're going to lose S4 as well. That was probably not a good result there, as now S4 going to come back up with the Aegis. And in fact, he's going to dive forward, so they might actually be able to pick off Black if they're lucky, as Chen's creep army is coming in here. Can they get a stun down? No, they're going to throw in a blinding light, and again, the root proc comes out. Time-lapse use. Black, though, still charging in and fighting. It looks like they're not too scared at all.
No, I mean, in this position here, they can kind of hold the line. Although it is a very high HP Weaver, everybody just not really too concerned about what the other one can do. They are going to fall back because there's nothing to gain from that situation, but also any kind of really, really direct aggression would have been an overextension on either team's part. Either way, right now, yeah, just a lot coming out back and forth. Just really, really liking the maneuvers from both the teams, but specifically the initiation there, the Nyx Assassin finding the opportunity to bring down the Kunkka there. He went in, he was hoping for a crit, Daedalus crit on the Queen of Pain, just right-clicking a creep nearby. Could have brought her down to critical HP levels, but unfortunately, of course, not able to do so as it does not proc. And from there, he was revealed, he was visible, and Nyx Assassin punishes him for it dearly. So that's what kind of started off all this mess here, and that's kind of not the grounds you want to start initiating on. We do see Weaver will be picking up that Black King bar, setting himself up to survive these combos of Queen of Pain, the Illuminate, and the Call Down, as well as Nyx. So really, really good for him, but yeah, the next big thing is going to have to be the Monkey King bar, and he has to step up the farm if he's going to be able to make that relevant very, very rapidly.
I'm going to say, as long as Kunkka's got, like, with Kunkka with his crit and the splash, I mean, anything, it's like a dream, anything is possible. No matter how bad this game gets, I mean, if he gets enough damage, he could accidentally wipe a whole bunch of heroes, so we'll see whether or not they can make that happen. But right now, the offensive ward being placed down here on the low ground, it's giving them a fair bit of start, in fact, being rewarded as well, just while they have the time to move forwards. And, I mean, they get a few pickoffs here. This could quite easily translate to some lost towers or even some heavy pressure there. That said, they've realized the bear is pushing in on their bottom racks once again. So whatever they do here in the mid lane, they're going to have to make it quick. In fact, the Radiant going to try and delay them, throw down the glyph straight away. Pressure on the top lane for the Radiants. Well, it's the 3v5 here at the moment, and it looks like Alliance are going to have to send at least somebody back to deal with it in a second. There we go. It's going to be EGM. He's being sent back to the fountain right now by the Test of Faith. So we'll see what he does to handle the bear. And again, looks like Black still pushing the top lane though, Blaze.
Yeah, without EGM in this position, they cannot go aggressively on this tier 2. He is their damage. Weaver does contribute quite a bit here, but it's not going to be sufficient. They have to just kind of decide if they're going to push out or defend, and they can't really just wish-wash in between the two. And that's very difficult because, of course, Kwaikwa, as well as we saw earlier, Fata and Black, happy to punish them if they try to go just barreling down the mid lane. You have to kind of lay the groundwork, spread it out, and get the creep wave pushed on every single lane before you can actually bring it down tower. And that's something that's easier said than done when you consider how much counter push is available at Mouse's disposal, whether it's flat cannon, the Scream, or even that Illuminate primarily. So that's going to be the main thing to look for, is the creep lane momentum. And the only kind of thing that will break that monotony back and forth is going to be that Roche, which will be spawning in just about a minute, minute and a half.
And of course, I mean, the other big key that Mouse have up their hands is the fact that across the map, they have much better mobility with the Keeper of the Light being able to recall. So basically, they can have Queen of Pain or Bear or whoever just go really deep in enemy territory, push, and counter push, and then just set that fight up, or set that push up, and then if they want him back, they just recall him back. It's not going to be a problem for them at all. So they've always got, or even, you know, push two lanes at once, then recall them to the right lane to fight. But now it looks like Mouse Sports going to back off here, while it looks like Alliance going to group up behind their tier 2 mid. And Chen, with his Centaur army at the moment, 3 Centaurs, plenty of chain stun if they can land them. But it's getting to the point where Chen's creep become a lot less relevant. And I mean, the Centaurs with this, I mean, they're really slow. It's going to be an issue getting them in range. Almost want to see him try and trade them out for Dire Trolls, just because the Dark Trolls, just because the net has a much better cast range on it.
Okay, so right now in this situation, as far as initiation potential, I really like what Admiral Bulldog can do, as well as Ake, now that he has such durable creeps. I mean, he has these Centaur Conquerors with Vlads up. They can go in and just kind of meaty brawlers jump in on the front lines here, and the Gyrocopter can only dominate one of them. But I don't know, in this position here, I also am a little bit afraid of specifically for Clockwork. He went for Force Staff and Ghost Scepter, and when you think about the Call Down and Queen of Pain nuking him down, it can be very, very dangerous. He's still going to try to go for the hook, but instead gets bashed on up, pops off the Ghost Scepter, but cannot get the cogs, unfortunately. Pulls him in instead of pushing him out. and as a result, there is going to be an easy escape for Koikova, trying to at least finish off his Spirit Bear here. They should be able to accomplish this if they get one more little disable on top of it. But away it runs, leading them on a wild bear chase that will be ended prematurely by the swarm ticking itself away in just a moment. No expiring, and recall back to safety. Unfortunate for them, but they should be able to pick up Roche just because of how far away Koikova is now. His TP is on cooldown, he's back at base, and as great of an item as he just picked up in the Assault Karas, he really can't just branch out and go in to help out. Then, oh wait, never mind, recall. Forgot about that Keeper Light fella. He definitely does work there. So he's back up in the action, and Pa is going to get a nice double impale coming out through. S4 popping off the BKB, trying to do work, but Satanic's up on the gyrocopter, and he is ready to just jump on into this in a very short time period. S4 wasting his BKB entirely, and now they don't really have much ground to stand on when it comes down to the next engagement.
This is going to be tough indeed. That said, you know, that crit there on the Shadow Blade could do just about... I mean, like right now, this could cause a ton of damage. That said, I mean, at the wrong moment, if Nyx throws up the Carapace, obviously Kunk is going to insta-give himself, which would be fairly embarrassing, but we'll see. We'll see. As it looks like he's working towards that BKB as well. Only about a 500 gold away from it or so. It looks like this is going to send the bear forward to siege. They're going to have the actual Lone Druid hang back a fair distance. Chen going to try and chase it off with Creep On, but they're just too slow. And unfortunately, you see the stun, such a long cast animation. Illuminate's going to come through. They're just trading hits there on the creep for the most part. EGM going to cop. No, just going to go invis and dodge that. The Flak Cannon, though, tearing the Centaurs apart. It's just not much you can do about it. And I really think he should... I mean, that said, of course, he's at the mercy of whatever creeps spawn, but he really wants to trade him up some creep with some distance, I think.
Yeah.
It's just right now, they're just not effective at all. But the bear with his Salt, the Basher, as well as the Armlet, very dangerous indeed.
Yeah.
Have they put the Armlet drain in yet on the bear?
No, that's going to be 6.78.
Because he's not actually... I don't know if I'm wrong, but the bear doesn't appear to have it actually activated.
No, he does
if
not.
it's on my screen, it might be bugged.
No, he does not have it currently active. Probably forgot it with the most recent summon. I think every time you summon it or when he respawns or whatever, you're going to have to turn it back on. So I believe he summoned it only about 40 seconds ago and has since not activated. But it's only going to reduce his damage by a little bit there, so hopefully not going to be the biggest impact, and he should have it up for the next fight. But unfortunately, that might be coming very, very quickly. S4 doing a lot of right-click damage with his Death Blader, bringing down the Roche, and it will be killed by the Dire, picked up by the Weaver. And in this position, S4 even popping off the time lapse to bring himself back up to full. Illuminate will hit him pretty hard in the face, but beyond that, they took what they wanted. They got a lot of gold experience, and of course that Aegis Immortal now jumping on in. Bulldog gonna connect onto Pause here. Not the target he was really looking for, but still at least forcing out the fight and breaking it up with the cogs in the midst of things. Now, big Hand of God going across from Chen. Boat will come on through. Hunter's Rum on just about everybody, but EGM getting bursted down despite it. So much damage coming out through. Nice disruption coming out from Smuglik. EGM on the front lines does not get a crit though. Chasing down, unfortunately, just the Keeper Light, and he will fall. S4 lost that Aegis very, very quickly. Gonna be able to Scoochie on away? No. He does get stunned on out from the Impale, and that was just atrocious a team fight for them. The initiation there specifically for Admiral Bulldog, he got the cogs in the river, and that would have been great if they were not the ones trying to get right on through there, but unfortunately they were. They were the ones trying to use the river as their juncture to get to the enemy team, and instead it was a block for themselves more so than the opposition. Now jumping in to blink, the Scythe coming out on top of Bulldog. He will be disrupted though and forced after away. Really, really good move from Smuglik, and of course Bulldog getting on out of there as well. So rough position. They stay afloat, and they're going to be able to hold the line on the tier 3.
I think the other problem was possibly also the fact that they caught out the Nyx, which honestly probably not the hero they wanted to go after. Really wanted to catch Black in that. I mean, they've got to somehow isolate him and bring it down. But now he's working towards that Butterfly. Going to have it fairly soon. He's already got the Eagle Song. He's got a Satanic, a Monkey King Bar, a Black King Bar. I just don't think... I mean, unless they get a huge crit on him, I think it's going to become very difficult. The other problem is the huge crit is a nice thing, but the problem is they don't have good lockdown. And all he has to do is BKB and pop Satanic, and suddenly what the hell are they going to do? Hope for a second crit in a row, that's about all they can do. Or maybe Clockwork can latch him with a hook, but that's the big issue. Like, Clockwork can't spam the hook, he doesn't have the Argonym Scepter. So I just don't know what they're going to do to try and lock down Gyrocopter to prevent him from healing with Satanic. It's going to be a very difficult problem for them to tackle.
Yeah. So we do see a quick pause coming on through. Not exactly sure what it is about, but not the biggest deal in the world. The Scythe of Ice has been pretty impactful as far as how they've been able to engage on their initiations, but the problem is they didn't really have much lockdown beyond that. Of course, if the bear gets a bash, gets an entangle, that's a completely different story. But so far, you know, he hasn't been the biggest impact here. I still think that Mouz in a full flat out 5v5 engagement, unless they get hit by a monstrous boat, are going to be able to come out on top. But as you've mentioned multiple times over, that ever-present potential for a Kunkka crit with Tidebringer, it looms. I mean, the second it happens, it is going to be just game-changing. And so we're going to be waiting, and Kunkka's just going to be trying to set it up as many times as possible until he finally actually makes it connect. Either way, from right now, I think the big thing that Alliance need to be moving towards to make sure that they can take the late game out, a little bit of durability on Clockwork so we can feel comfortable jumping on in, and a lot more aggressive ward coverage. Right now, Alliance have one down on the bottom rune spawn, and that's exactly it. They don't have any control over the enemy map, and that's mostly because of Paz's gem. So the Geometry site really, really limiting their aggressive potential, and that means their focus has to be to win a fight. They have to get a single pick off and turn it into a really, really good engagement for them. Honestly, although Nyx is a little bit slippery, with a basic amount of detection and the X marks the spot, they should be able to bring him down as well. So target fire, make sure if it is an actual fight, focus the gyro. But otherwise, go in, pick off the Nyx, get the gem, get some map control, and try to actually get a grip on what's going on. Because if you keep letting Black farm, it's just going to get uglier and uglier and uglier as time goes by. And now they're both ready to go back on into it. We'll see how it plays on out the remainder. 41 minutes in, who do you think has the best chance to take this one match away?
I think Mouz, because right now the issue is, I mean, they want to get this, definitely, they want to get their pick off. The question is how? Because, like you said, the gem, they're losing so much map control, they can't really find a position to smoke gank them. It's going to be very difficult for them to figure this out. And the problem is, if they see someone without knowing where the rest of the team is, the big issue is, of course, they've always got to worry. Queen of Pain could jump them, they could get a relocate, and Nyx could come out of nowhere, he's got a blink, he's got invis. What are they going to do about that? It's going to be very easy for Mouz to suddenly turn the fight around. As it looks like instead they're just going to focus. I mean, this is the other issue, of course. They have no room to farm. They have to stick together. They're always worried about getting jumped. So with no room to farm, it's just no real way for them to catch up to the black playing the gyrocopter at the moment. And I mean, he's really starting to spiral away. 585 GPM, whereas Weaver really hasn't moved all that much from 446. Weaver definitely getting some decent farm, but he's just not really going to be able to catch the gyro, who's almost going to have his butterfly up in a moment as well. Almost has the talisman of evasion there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. It's kind of that catch-22 that we're kind of cycling around a little bit. They need the vision to get the pick. They need the pick to get the gem. They need the gem to get the vision. And so it's just this kind of cycle that they're going to have to find a breaking point for. They need to find...
I think it's going to come down to they have to wait for Mouz to engage and then basically launch a perfect counterattack off it. I think that's pretty much their only option here. Because, like you said, there's no real way for them to get active on the map. There's just too much danger getting picked off. And if they die and get picked off, that's a Rax, without a doubt. They've lost too many towers. Their bottom Rax is exposed. They cannot afford to have dumb luck screw them over.
So now 3 Ghost Scepters up, 2 BKBs as well. The Alliance are going to try to make their stand here, trying to hold the line on the melee Rex, which are just going to get pounded on if the bear gets close enough to his owner. But instead, X-Mark back, Torrent will come on through. They're going to have to bring down the bear very, very quickly, but here comes Blink of Hail coming from Paz. There's the initiation. EGM gets defensively disrupted before he gets dropped down. Weaver with the time-lapse, BKB active, pounding away at the Queen of Pain, forcing the Blink out. There's going to be the boat hitting on top of the bear once more, but they don't have any follow-through. EGM taking a lot of right-clicks here, and Black just doing too much. His Satanic is on cooldown. They might be able to keep him up, but no, Weaver is going to get dropped down. And now Black is just right-clicking away. Black Cannon on the buildings, Black Cannon on the heroes. And they just can't hold it. Going in, Tier 3 going to be pressured now, and Weaver, without buyback available, is just completely unable to do anything about this situation. So it's all on the Kunkka, looking for the crit. Shadowblade, EGM coming on in, but they have to get this set up here, and Koikova's already going to be able to get the TP off. Cogs will come on through, but it looks like nobody's going to get caught out. Only the bear being pulled in by the X-Marks as well. The right clicks should bring it down. If they don't, they're in such a bad spot, but can't even, unfortunately, get the bear. They just got completely obliterated in that fight. Weaver getting picked off after he used his ultimate, and from there, yeah, a dead Weaver means that you're not going to have the damage you need. And, of course, Black just showing what his farmed carry can do.
I've got to say, Mouse Sports made a very intelligent decision there. They saw EGM come forwards and then completely drilled him to see the X-Monks spot. Going to set up possibly no Black, in fact, not even going to care. Going to charge it, gets hit by the Demonic Purge. Boat also coming through, but not going to be a big deal there. They will back off. But once they took EGM out of the picture, they didn't get the kill, and they forced a ton of spells to go down specifically to try and save his life. Disruption, double heals there from Chen. He had to back off. He couldn't come back in, and without his crits, his ability to get in, I mean, he threw a boat, sure, but all he hit was the bear. Coco's Rum is nice, but all he did was hit the bear pretty much. And then with him having to back out of the fight, they just had nothing to follow up on the damage. Weaver got then target fight after that and brought down. It was just nothing the Alliance could do after that. So I think really intelligent play there from Mouz. Alliance stepped forward a little bit too far, and Mouz made them pay for it really, really hard.
So
I mean, if anything, they were going to throw anybody forwards, it probably should have been the Weaver, just because, I mean, at the very least, if they go for, if they jump Weaver and he gets hexed, you disrupt him. You can try and save him. And if Weaver takes a ton of damage, he then time lapses and then comes straight back into the fight, as opposed to Kunkka being forced to go back to the fountain and heal. While he heals back to full, it takes a lot of time comparatively, and in that time, you lose a Rax.
yeah. Also looking for a big test of faith in the next engagement. Might need it here on EGM. Gets 4 staff away. He will be okay. But, yeah, Call Down has been expended by Black. Gets X marks the spotted. But they don't want to jump on this. Maybe trying to scare out of BKB. But it's not going to work. Just stacking up the Shadow Poison over and over. But Bear taking a lot of hits here. He's going to get hit by the boat. And he is dropped down. So they lose the Bear. Going to have to resummon in just a few seconds. But in comes Queen of Pain. Jumping in. But the BKB comes on through. Weaver dueling it out with Black. Time-lapse pops off. Hand of God as well. S4 going to fall back from here. Needs a test of faith to get back to the base. Now we're going to see Admiral Bulldog go on in, though, and 4-staff on immediately, trapping in pause, but not a hero you can single out. And now going on around the cogs, they're going to go and try to bring him down, but have really not getting anything out of it. Weaver gets bursted down by the Sonic Wave. There's Queen of Pain. Fata coming in from the side flank, getting the pick off there we're looking for. Kunkka buys back. They're going to get the test on Admiral Bulldog, who ghost aftered up. He will survive, but yeah, at what cost? Now they've lost the racks, they've lost the heroes, and possibly just the game. Right here, Mouz laying into EGM, trying to make his last stand, but that Entangle says otherwise. He will drop. The tier 4s and the Ancient are theirs, and I believe this is GG.
There we go. It's been called S4 calling the GG. I mean, Alliance being handed their first defeat in a very long... I think this is the first defeat in 23 actually, because they beat Fnatic earlier on in the night. So, I mean, that's a fairly hefty defeat. That said, of course, we need to keep in mind Alliance, not their full lineup. So, I mean, all the Alliance fanboys probably holding onto that one very dearly, holding that point and shouting it out at the top of the lungs. But again, to take nothing away from Mouz, they played superbly in game 1 and 3, played it very well indeed. I'm going to say Alliance are very smart played, smart strategy in game number 2, really gave them that game quite a lot, and allowed them to shut down the Gyrocopter. But it looks like Black, best hero Gyrocopter. I mean, he's played it so many times tonight to great effect.
Yeah, over and over and over, just stacking up that GPM and farming like crazy. A little bit, it was, like I said, it was a little bit of Alliance deciding to let him go for it. I mean, he had that pretty effective solo lane, and he just farmed away for a very long time. They didn't go for an aggressive tri lane a single time against him. And as a whole, Black farms on Gyrocopter, Black wins the game. So we'll see if they do figure out a way to shut him down more actively in the future. But for right now, this best of 3 concludes with Mousesports taking the win. They win the matchup 2-1. Yeah, on the back of Black and his amazing farm as well. Really, really good movement from Fata. Queen of Pain multiple times over was able to snipe up that Weaver, and those are clutch kills, especially when you're up against a BKB. So good movement there, good control of the map. They contested farm directly, and they controlled the map very, very well with the Nyx's gem. So I was really impressed by Paz today and his supportive play. Fata, of course, as always, really good for his initiation, and just in general, Mousesports taking it away and showing why they are not only have qualified for the international, but are believed by many to be in contention for at least the top 8 slots. So that'll be interesting to see. But for right now, Premier League Reaver Cup is concluding for this evening. We did see that there is a 3rd and 4th decider that we're not going to be able to go into today because of the delays and the 90-minute long games and such. But yeah, we will be seeing the decider, DD Dota versus, was it Evil Geniuses? Yeah, those two going at it on Thursday at, I believe it's 21 o'clock Central European Summertime. I'm not sure exactly how that translates into other times, but it'll be up on the Premier League website. And beyond that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do see number 1, the first place point values going to Mousesports, and number 2, Alliance this time around. Do you have any other concluding thoughts, not just on the match, but on the day as a whole?
Yeah, I feel really jealous of the people who just want an absolute crapload of rares off Mouse. I've lost so many recently, I feel really bad. But no, yeah, definitely. Mousesports, I'm looking forward to seeing them play in the TI3. My God, they are looking quite scary indeed. That said, of course, Alliance still, I mean, I want to see them full on. Where the hell was Loda? Just, I mean, Aki, I think it was Aki, said no idea. He just disappeared. So who knows?
For Kelly. I don't know. But, Yeah, well, Loda kind of vanishing there. I'm going to see if we can do the interview thing. We did that a lot in the previous season. We're going to look at that, but I'll have to specifically talk with one of the members of Mouse Sports and get that figured out. So if you guys want to stay tuned for a little bit, we're going to try to do a little bit of Ask the Pros interview type stuff with one of the members of Mouse Sports, and they're in light of their victory here. But we'll see. Obviously, it's been a very long day for all the teams involved. But hopefully we'll be able to get at least a few words out of them. But thanks once again, Triumph, for joining me on this cast. Hopefully the individuals here, all the viewers, were able to enjoy the commentary, other than a couple technical issues at the very end there. So thanks again, and if you guys want to check us out as casters, just check us out. I myself am over at twitter.com/blazecasting, also under YouTube and Twitch of the same extension. And for you, are you under Triumph of Man?
Yeah, just on Twitter. I don't really keep a YouTube. It's more of a personal thing.
Sure enough, sure enough. Well, if you guys want to check us out, follow us on there. As well, you can just check out the PremierLeague.eu and stay on top of when the Cups are. Mostly they're going to be every single Sunday at around this same time frame. We go for like 10 hours straight. So, awesome day of Dota. Very, very taxing, but very well worth it at the same time. So, we appreciate you guys so much for tuning on in. And that's going to be it for us here. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will be looking for an interview in just a little bit with one of the Mouse guys. Hopefully that will work out. We actually didn't get one last Cup, but this one should work out hopefully. Anyways, thanks for tuning on in. Catch you guys on the next one.